Hey everyone, Pete Winiarski here, and I am here today with David Tweedt. David, how are you today?
Excellent. Hey everyone, how are you?
So I'm thinking that today we got to talk about you and your relationship with your customers, and really, how do you know what they actually want? It's an interesting question because if you don't know the answer to that, the rest of what you do on how you communicate to them, the marketing materials, what you put on your website, what you do on a phone call with them, what you do if you're a place of business where people come in and see you, what do your team and your salespeople that are on the retail floor, if you're a retail outlet, what do they say? How do you communicate? So that's a critical question. Now, before we get into that whole conversation, I want to remind people what's going on right now on the More Revenue, More Profit Facebook guys. So here's the group, right? We've got this contest going on. I'm going to flash up these 4 things and then let me tell you what they are because I just flashed that so quickly. David, I'm going to get accused of flashing people. So maybe I'll change this up a little bit. Oh my goodness.
Well, or we'll cut you back on your caffeine, Pete.
Yeah, that's true. I've had quite a bit today. A lot of late nights lately. Late nights, working shorter hours, getting up early because we got a lot that we're preparing for you. So the first thing is in the More Revenue, More Profit group, right? So we're broadcasting this live in that group, but because we're using StreamYard, we're also broadcasting on the Pete Winiarski page and on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, we're grabbing this content and we're putting it up on our podcast, Business Results Radio. So depending on where you are in the world, you might be catching this at various points in time. On the More Revenue, More Profit group, go to that group, see what we're doing, become part of it because we're doing this giveaway right now. We announced it yesterday. I'm not going to go totally and repeat everything, but I want to share that we've got some pretty exciting motivation because we want to help you. Dave, we've been at this just only a few weeks, right?
Let's see. Yeah, it's only been a couple of weeks. And our group is growing like crazy, Pete, which is really exciting. And some of the dialogue that we're having both in the group and directly with some of the individuals, it's really having a lot of fun.
And I think this is how we can finally, unveil the fact that this group is out there because it is a private group. Like people are not just stumbling upon it and then joining, right? It's a private group. We want people to experience us. And as we're telling people about it, so we're telling people and we want you to tell people, and we want to build engagement and we want to get people in who are business leaders who want to help grow their revenue and their profit and, have a bigger impact in the world, whatever that is for you. And so this is the forum that we chose, we elected. So we're telling people, we're going in our LinkedIn page and we're telling them to come over here. We're going to the Pete Winiarski, which is sort of the quote unquote, the business page, and telling them to come here. So anyway, the punchline, the big incentive is that there's some things that we're asking you to do. And if you do those things, we are going to put your name in a drawing. And on Friday, 2 days from now, we're going to draw a name on this Facebook Live and we'll pull the name out and give you $100, right? $100 Amazon gift card. So how cool is that? Watch the live from yesterday. You'll get all the details, but here are the steps, right? So we need you to go to this group and join it. Make sure you're part of it. More Revenue, More Profit. And then post in the group. Tell us who you are. Tell us what's up. Tell us what your challenges are. Tell us what your biggest question is. And just start up, get engaged, and then you'll certainly pile on and like and comment to other people's suggestions, comments, questions, etc. So, get involved. Second, or points number 3 and 4, make sure you go and you set your notifications in the group to all, because you can click that on or off. There's a toggle button. And then lastly, this survey, and this is actually perhaps the most important part. Go to that https://go.winconsulting.co/quick-survey. because we want to collect some data about you. What's your info? What's your question? What are your challenges? Who are you? So that we can then tailor what we do in this Facebook group to you, right? If you don't tell us that, then we're just going to keep guessing at what we think is what you want to know about. And that's exactly what today's conversation is about. How do you know what your customers want? And the first answer we have towards that question is you ask them. So, Dave, today's topic, we kind of know what the general world of business leaders are, and we talked about it's like what should we talk to these guys about? And this is what we came up with today. We could have talked about anything today, right? I mean, you've got this big long list. So what are some of the topics, Dave, that you've been thinking about recently as sharing with the group?
Well, Pete, this morning we had a really good meeting with one of our small business clients. And within that meeting, what we really focused in part of the meeting was what are the referral processes that he has in place, and how can he accelerate some of those within his business? Because in this particular case, his business is primarily referral based. And as we went through the conversation, he was doing some of the things well, and the big opportunities were still on the table. So we had great conversation. He's already putting those in place today. So, as far as taking quick action and driving, and you know what? That's one of at least 30 different strategies we're working with him on, and it's really exciting. So I'm not going to go into all that, right now because we don't have time. But that's just one example. One of the strategies that we're really helping him put in place are the engines that really drive the top line revenue.
So that's a perfect example. So, I teed up the question for David, and he answered it with, here's something really cool that we did with a client that's going to end up making a change to how they do what they do that could end up having a really nice lift in his number of customers and therefore his revenue. But that's us guessing that you care about that. We happen to think that strategy is one that will work well for a lot of you. We happen to know that when you do implement it, depending on what type of business you are, that it can actually really grow. In fact, that's a pretty universal one. You could be someone who is a one-person company and get a lot of benefit from doing that. You could also be, some business leader with hundreds of employees and millions of dollars in revenue and still use this strategy for every satisfied customer you have out there. If you can end up in a conversation with them and they give you a base of introductions to new people. Mm-hmm. But maybe you don't care about that, which is exactly why this conversation today is about how do you know what your customers really want? Well, in essence, how this is us using this example of us with you in this Facebook group. How do we know what you want? Well, we're asking. And the first way we're asking is in this survey, right? You see that go.winconsulting.co/quick-survey. The other is, well, let's get into a conversation, right? In a one-on-one conversation, we say, hey, what's up for you right now? What's your biggest challenge? What do you really like? There's things like the Net Promoter Score. We had that conversation, Dave, recently with someone, didn't we?
Right. We did. And, in that particular conversation, that was the most important outcome that they were looking for that they had not achieved yet. And Pete, it comes down to two primary categories, right? What's the primary outcome you want that you don't have? Or what are the problems or challenges that you have that you don't want? And then from there, then it can go in a lot of different directions. But getting clarity there is the first step to really accelerating the results.
Yeah. So if you can understand your customer's answer in their language, what is the result that they want? What is the result that they want your help to get. So if you're obviously a service provider, that's an easy one, because that's, let me modify how I present the services that I provide in my conversations, in my website, in my marketing language, and what I say at the, in the bio section at the bottom of a blog post, right? All of those things matter. Now, if you're a product company, then that is input to your product development. And by the way, every company, whether you're really small or large, it doesn't matter. You still have this element of developing new products and services. And the thing is, it's not if we build it, they will come. That doesn't really work except in the movies, right? It's if we build it based on what the customers are asking for, using language that they're using, so that I demonstrate, I understand your challenge, your issue, your problem, the result you want, and then I can create the solution and talk you through it. Now you've got a match. So that's why this conversation is so important. How well do you understand what your customers want? And then we'll get into later how you build processes and systems to respond to what they want to help you grow your revenue. How's this sound, Dave? I mean, I'm pretty pumped up about this concept.
Well, and so am I, Pete. And, one of the things that you shared earlier is these are the types of discussions that ultimately we're going to be having in the Facebook group. And in that Facebook group that you shared, one of the things that my goal is not only understand what your customers want, but here are a couple key questions to really start the dialogue going in a positive, productive way. And sharing that within the group so that everyone can benefit. That's really what we're driving towards as we're growing the group and really helping the small businesses.
Yeah, that's right. So let's help you. Let's help your community. Let's make this a place that you want to come and get more help, just build the relationships here. So again, if you're listening to this after this week, after Friday at noon, then, obviously the benefit of being in the group is still there, but you might miss out on the $100 thing. So if you want to be part of that whole $100 giveaway, and yes, for my Canadian friends, that is US money, so it's more valuable. We had someone comment, a Canadian friend comment on the feed yesterday when we did the live. And it was, I got a chuckle out of it because I don't even think of it that way. Yes, you have bonus money. But again, it's more revenue, more profit is the name of the Facebook group. Come over here, https://facebook.com/groups/more revenue, more profit. So join the group. Here are those 4 steps again if you want to be in the money, so to speak. So join the group, post on the group, get engaged, set your notifications to all, and then take that survey at go.winconsulting.co/quick-survey. And you do need to put the https:// in front of the go. We have learned that the hard way from someone trying to do it and I can't get in. Well, that's why, because you've got to make sure you put that part as well. So we're asking your input. And if you do those things, we're going to go through and tally up all of the people who filled out the survey, who's there, who also is posting and is active in the group, in this very short window of time. And if you're one of those people, we can take your name, cut it into a piece of paper, stick it into a hat, and then we'll take the drawing in 2 days on Friday. Excited, looking forward to having a winner, having you be a winner just for being here. Thanks for being here, everyone. Dave, thanks for hanging out with me today.
Hey, thank you. Everyone, take care.
Ciao.